So I was gonna just start off by asking you about where I was gonna start. I'm not gonna start now because of what you said when you were. Tell me about 8,000 Days. We're here with the West Texas Exiles at Heights Theater here in Houston, Texas, where y'all will be performing next week.
Yeah.
So in September, you have an album called 8,000 Days coming out.
Yeah.
But you already have an album called 8,000 Days out?
No. That's just the name of the album. We have a song called 8,000 Days
Okay.
yeah. But it's that's gonna be the first track on that album. But yeah, we haven't put it out quite yet. But
okay,
yeah.
So it's like this fall or something that it's coming out, right?
Yeah, September 12th.
Okay.
Same day
Yeah.
as Spinal Tap 2.
Same day as Spinal Tap 2, which is kind of fitting.
Oh yeah.
I think for all the shenanigans we get into on the road, man. Yeah.
Talk to me about West Texas Exiles. I mean, that name in itself, when you look at it on paper, is like a bold statement.
Yeah.
Right? What does it mean to y'all personally and musically?
Well, first of all, we are all from, what the world considers West Texas. I was born and raised in El Paso. Colin over here was raised in Lubbock.
Raised in Lubbock. Yeah.
Grew up in Lubbock. And then Daniel's from Amarillo. The exile part is I think we all kind of had to exile ourselves from West Texas because it's a great place to be from, but when you're trying to make music out there, it's a little far from everything, and it's a little literally and figuratively dry out there, especially for Americana music, So honestly, for me, that name was kind of a placeholder, and it kind of stuck. I don't know. What does it mean to y'all?
Yeah, it was I think you came up with it in the song Exile, and then but yeah, I grew up in Lubbock, and then I grew up again in Austin. So and I met these guys right after the pandemic, actually, and I was kind of shocked to hear that there was a bunch of guys from West Texas living in my region that had a band going. I was just like, shouldn't this, I should have known these guys 20 years ago, and but it was a blessing, and it was I had a similar experience with my hometown as Marco did, which is that it was Lubbock was a source of great inspiration and the home of a lot of my heroes, but just like them, a lot of them, I had to split and go elsewhere to kind of make things happen. So that's how it was for me.
Yes, I mean, same story here. Amarillo was just it was a hard place to be a creative person, and a lot of inspiration, a lot of great people come from there, but they end up leaving, and I'm glad I did and met these guys.
That's interesting. Take me to how y'all all met in Austin. I mean, you're like, I couldn't believe I found these guys, but how did you guys find each other?
I ended up meeting Marco and our drummer Trinidad Leal, Trinidad's from Lubbock. Met them. I was randomly playing with another band that was opening up for the band that Marco was in before this, and we ended up just hanging out, playing music all night. And
Whose house should be that?
oh, we're Uncle Laser. Shout out Uncle Laser.
No kidding.
Yeah,
You were at his show when you met?
Yeah,
No, we're at his house.
at his house.
Oh, yeah.
This is before he was Uncle Laser.
Was he still the same?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a
What
little
a wild
dialed
dude.
down a little bit back then, but
man, that's awesome.
the mullet was still strong. But yeah, then we just kept hanging out and practicing, and ended up meeting Colin through our bass player Eric
So
Harrison.
your band has a connection with Uncle Laser forever now.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're not putting that on paper anywhere.
That's not in the bio.
Sure. Yeah.
He's a buddy,
Yeah, he is.
He's a bro, for sure.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Let's get back real quick to 8,000 Days. Again, we're here with West Texas Exiles at the Heights Theater in Houston, where y'all will be performing with Madam Radar next week. Is that the 22nd? Did I get that?
22nd, I believe. Thursday.
22nd, Thursday the
Yeah.
22nd.
Very cool. So get your tickets for that. This is a phenomenal room to see live music, and both of these bands All right, it's going to be a killer night. But let's talk about 8,000 days again. That's a lot of days. That's a big number. Where does the title come from?
8,000 days. It's rounded a little bit down. It's roughly about 21 years. It's just the idea of, for me, again, going back to the idea of being from West Texas and having to leave. It's a song about reminiscing over days and a place, which is El Paso for me. Growing up, spending my entire childhood, late teens I was closer to 20 when I left, but the idea is still the same.
8,000 days in the desert.
8,000 days in the desert.
Goes.
Yeah. So, yeah, the song kind of deals with like this place that you're from is so beautiful, but you kind of make yourself get away. And then when I left El Paso, I very quickly realized how beautiful a place it was, and I missed it. Growing up, I think wherever you come from, you inevitably kind of get sick of your hometown. I quickly missed El Paso, and I think every time I went back home, I was trying to find the El Paso that I left behind, and I came to this realization: like you can never, you can go back, but you can't go back in time. And yeah, that's what the song's about, 8,000 days. And yeah, I think that's what we decided to name the album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that, man. That's actually really cool.
Thanks.
You've got a track on this new album that has the legend Kelly Willis on it. How'd that happen?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think that
We actually, so the band, my dad, Jimmy Dale Gilmore, was playing Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival out in San Francisco, and he asked us to be his backing band for it. And the day before, Marco and Trinidad, they got COVID, so they had to stay home. But Eric, our bass player, and Daniel and I went, and we backed up my dad, and Kelly Willis set in, and Marco had this beautiful song, and he had demoed it, and Eric just walked up to Kelly and he was like, "Hey, can I send you a song of ours to listen to?" And he did, and she loved it, and he was like, "Would you like to sing on it?" And it's been kind of a feature of the album, having her on it. It's really tying us to some of our roots,
Yeah, I mean, she's a Texas icon.
Absolutely.
a little on that too, man. Yeah. So it's Eric is our bass player from Lubbock, Texas. He is really good about just throwing us out there, throwing himself out there, just asking stuff that like I wouldn't be able just to go up to I wouldn't be able to go up to Kelly and be like, "Hey, I got this song," but Eric did, and the song called Division, and I wrote it, tried to be a perspective of two different people in the midst of kind of a life-changing breakup, and I always heard a female voice on it. I always wanted that, and never in my wildest dreams did I think Kelly Willis would say yes, but she did.
She did, yeah, and we're gonna have a video for that coming out right about when the album comes out. So,
Man, I love that.
yeah,
We're filming this partly for the Texas Country Network, which is my baby, and it's a digital media outlet. It's basically, I'm trying to be, what MTV was for Texas country and red dirt and Americana music today, and we have a bunch of different content creators, kind of like the Barstool thing. But yeah, dude, I love that. I do want to talk about the album here again before we wrap up. But I started listening to y'all after I knew that I was going to have this interview, and I immediately was a fan. Immediately a fan of the band.
yeah.
Thanks.
But a couple of songs that I just love, I wanted to ask you about. What happened?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Are you asking what happened, or is that?
I'm asking you about the song. What happened? What happened?
I was gonna
what
say
happened?
I think the ice machine turned on,
And the ice machine did turn
That's
on.
what happened. The song "What Happened" it was one I wrote about just growing up as the youngest brother. I've got 3 older brothers, and being number 4, just kind of watched my brothers, just make my parents crazy and get into trouble. And I just was always the good kid, and one day somebody just brought that into question, like how I might end up one day, and that the verdict was still out, and it just kind of pissed me off and made me think about it, and so yeah, we're still not sure what happened though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Really one of my favorites. I also like Hotel Tomorrow.
Yeah, that was another one I began and kind of set on for about 6 months. I just had a verse and a chorus, and originally the first line of the chorus was different, and the first instead of Hotel Tomorrow, it was Thoughts of Tomorrow, Yesterday's Sorrow. But Mike Ingber, the producer there at 601 Studios, thought I said hotel, and we all just it just was a kind of a profound moment, like, oh, this is cool, we can kind of run with this. And but when I first showed the guys the song, we went right back in the studio, and Marco pretty much wrote the second verse like pretty much like it is, freestyled, and then we just kind of finished the song, and pretty quickly that was the first song we really wrote together and collaborated on.
And that's awesome. That one came out in 2022. So you guys have had, if I'm correct, a bunch of singles that you've put out since 2022, since you started the band. Yeah. But this record in September is officially like the debut album?
Yep. Yes, sir. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel? Like, where are y'all at right now? A few months out from it. I mean, are you nervous? Are you antsy? Do you wish it was already out?
Oh yeah.
What's the vibe?
All of the above. It feels like it's been 8,000 days.
Yeah.
But we're ready. We're ready for it.
It took a good while to get this album out. So.
Yeah, I think this happens with most bands. We've had the album ready for coming up on a year. Mm-hmm. By the time we put it out, it's going to be like a year and a half. So I think we're all really stoked for everyone to hear it. But personally, I'm kind of sick of these songs. And we have enough songs for 2 more albums. So we're actually starting to record the next album right now, and I'm ready to get those out.
Yeah, definitely.
That's kind of how it always is, though, right?
Always,
The fans on one side are eager and ready for it, and by the time y'all put it out, y'all are ready for the next.
Aren't y'all sick of these songs too? Even people that never heard of it.
So I like to ask this. This is going to be on a podcast too called Sounds Like Texas, and I like to ask, every artist that I come across, what does it mean to you to be an artist and a musician in Texas representing our culture? Not only here in the Lone Star State, but nationally when you guys are on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's cool. I've come to the realization that you can't deny your roots, and I can feel my Texas accent slipping out sometimes, but it's just it's a cool thing to be proud of, like where we grew up and our influences. And so it's kind of cool to just carry the torch, especially some of the shows that we're doing. With some of these legendary Texas artists, it's that's what it means for me.
Yeah, I think of people from West Texas, like Joe Ely, Buddy Holly, a lot of my heroes, and when I looked at them, when they went to Austin or New York or California or Europe or anywhere, they brought this sense of like joy and urgency in the music, that just this pulsing energy that, and to me, I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to bring this around. I want to just remind people all over that that they're feeling these feelings, and they just need to be reminded. So that's what I hope to do.
I love that answer.
Yeah, man, I think for me, growing up in El Paso, we're so far removed from everything. I grew up listening to punk rock, and then Americana when I was 15, 16. I didn't know anything about the Texas country music scene. I had no clue about it. Until, with my old band, Corey Morrow, took us out on the road, first time kind of leaving El Paso. I had never experienced, I thought it was like this nationwide. I don't know, you could play Texas. You could play Texas your entire life, and fans will come out to see you again and again and again, and it's this cool like support system that I don't think it's not like that in many other states. You know, it's really cool to be accepted in that, and just grateful, man, grateful and lucky.
All right, this is my last question. Again, here with West Texas Exiles. Thank y'all for spending some time introducing yourself to my audience, and looking forward to next week here with Madam Radar on the 22nd. Tickets are available again. Heights Theater, West Texas Exiles, and Madam Radar. That's going to be a killer night. New album coming out in September, but let's manifest real quick. 2 years from now. All right, so like 2027, where are the West Texas Exiles playing, and who's opening for y'all?
I think that's a good question.
Where I would like to be, I would like to be honestly, man, in the same position, just on a bigger scale. I don't necessarily want a tour bus. I don't necessarily want to be playing, stadiums and stuff. I just want to be working hard, doing what I love, and making ends meet, man. If in 2 years we were still jumping in a minivan to drive to Chicago, I would not be upset about that at all. It'd be nice to get our music to a wider audience and to have more people get through the door, and but I've realized I'm a lifer, and the only way you do it for life is if you find your buddies, and if you love the work side of it. And the work isn't the 90 minutes that you're on stage, No, the work is being a glorified mover, moving your shit from town to town, and who'd be opening for us, man? I don't know.
Waiting for the interviewer to go get a SD card for an hour and a
Hey,
half.
that's just how it goes sometimes, man. I don't know. What do you think? Who would be opening for us?
We're playing the Heights, and then we're playing. We'll go to Lubbock and play the Buddy Holly Hall, and Zach Bryan will be opening for us.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I'll take
John
Moreland, actually.
Yeah.
That
Oasis will open for us, but they won't end up playing the
So
show.
let me just interject here real quick. I hate to make comparisons. I do it a lot. When I interview artists, I interview at least one or two new artists a week. And I find myself often making comparisons, but when I heard, is it What Happened? I was like, this is Oasis if they were country.
Oh, yeah.